So, um, on the 13th, 17th, I think it was in December, I was in my closet as always. I just like to stay there, and I think that I'm safer there. I think I'm safer there because I can hear my husband coming up the stairs, and so I like to be on guard. I'll stay on my phone, I'll read the Bible, I'll be in a devotional, I'll be reading some biblical essays, and I can hear anybody coming. I can hear the floor creaking and brace myself and prepare myself mentally, verbally, whatever I would need to say or do to um, justify me staying there or whatever, why I'm here and not over there. So, these eyebrows are bothering me. Try to do some makeup, but do it halfway, you're gonna look just as silly as if you didn't put any on, if you needed any. But I decided to pray. I decided to pray and ask God, hey, I need some help with how I talk. And I felt like I was experiencing some communication problems and with a community group head because of how I was texting her and how she kept about asking for clarification on what I was texting her. And so I uh, also experienced some communication problems with my father as I explained my situation here in this house. How we're constantly arguing, we're constantly increasing the parameters and how we respond to each other's um, hurt and pain while we're in hurt and pain. And I just really wish that we would have some limits and some boundaries. And my dad didn't understand that. In fact, he said, I don't understand you. And so I was just like, I wonder what my children would have to say to me that they're experiencing that hurts them. And then I wouldn't be able to understand that they're asking for help. And I think it would be more so a reflection of my ignorance or how much I'm not really trying to help or wanting to help. I don't know. But those two instances, my community group lead and my father, I just felt that the problem was within me. The problem I was experiencing within between my husband and I was um, because of how I talk or how I express myself. I'm very disrespectful and I'm not clear when I'm talking or texting. So I remember Thursday night being in my closet and saying, I would like to say something kind to him. And I prayed about it so that I could be humble about it because I had spent all um, the previous Sunday with the community group um, member of mine who shared with me her the things that are going on in her home, how they're similar. She just said there's never been any violence, and she's actually verbalized how that would be a deal breaker for their marriage. And so, but she really explained how um, to talk with respect, and reminded me how when we are talking in love, that it could come off in a different way if we how our talking could come off in a different way if we don't apply love. And the Bible declares that we are like a gong, an annoying gong, if we don't have love. And so I went downstairs that Thursday and I said to him um, nothing when I went downstairs with the kids. I came out of my closet and it was like 7 o'clock, and um, he had and I sat down at the table and the kids just followed me out of the closet and they went downstairs with me and they sat at the table and I said, okay, if you bring out your plates, I'll scoop you something of what your dad made. And then so they brought me their plates. I dished out a small spoon or whatever because they like to waste. And then I put in their plates and then they sat at the table, they ate. And then their dad was sitting on the couch. So when I had come down the stairs, he had said, I had said nothing. But when when I and the children were sitting down at the table, he had said, "Oh, what would you guys like to eat? Would you like what I made? Would you like what I cooked or whatever?" And he was, and I thought that was interesting. So when they finished eating, I went back upstairs. They followed me and they sat in my lap or right around me or about me or whatever. When I went back upstairs into our shared bedroom, and they followed me there. And after putting them to sleep, like maybe 45 to an hour later, or putting them in their room so that they could eventually fall asleep, I sat by myself and I wondered how I could be loving. And so, love is patient, love is kind. So I was like, let me try kindness. And so I thought about something nice, and so I went down. So I prayed that it come off um, humble and respectful. And I really didn't know if I was going to come off humble. So I said, as long as I'm respectful. And I prayed over what my statement was going to be. And then I went downstairs and I said to him, as I had a cup that I took upstairs. I went and put it in the sink, came down. And I'm thankful for that cup, because a lot of times just coming to approach him, he may be like, "Oh, what she got? What she want to say? What is this or whatever?" But he can be relaxed when I'm just dropping off a cup in the sink, and then coming back and maybe something popped in my mind. And so I said to him, "Thank you for being the kind of father that I just witnessed. You asked them what would they like to eat, even though you had prepared something, you had made something." He does majority of the cooking. If I do anything, it'll be pasta, or it'll be red sauce or white sauce. It's pasta. And so so for him to cook meals like literally every other day, sometimes twice a day, that's often as well. When I came downstairs, I said to him, "Thank you for being the kind of father that asks what they want to eat, and let them know that they do have choices, and that if they do have something that they have in mind, that they can come to you. I like to see that. No matter how I think about you, when I witness things like that, it really appeases me, because I know that they have a father that has good in him when you do things like that. And I'm just thankful for that." And I also um, said that in Ephesians chapter 6, it talks about how the father should not be harsh to their child. I talked about how in Colossians 2, it says, um, again, about the child's relationship with the parent. And I just said those scriptures, and I went up, and then I said, um, um, concerning you and I, concerning you and I, a lot of times and I wasn't smiling, my voice was probably like, um, um, not sure, but I just really wanted to say to him, a lot of times when you see me walk around in the house, you may see confidence, but you may not see the ignorance. You may see me behaving as though I may know what I'm doing with this thing, but what you don't see is that I actually don't know anything about this, and I'm just trying. I'm just pursuing. I'm just going to see how it turns out. And I want you to also have the kind of wisdom to be able to see where I fall short in my knowledge, in my wisdom, in my awareness of things, because you won't be as offended as you have easily been in the past by me. You won't be so offended by someone that you know doesn't know about this thing, about you, about something else. You won't be offended by those who are ignorant. You'll be offended by those that know better. And so, and I just said, that's the I think that's the situation with me. And I just want you to consider that may be a possibility. And I just went upstairs. So that was Thursday night. But Friday, it was my kids' last day. No, it wasn't their last day of school. Was it their last day of school? Yeah, it was their last day of school. And uh, he picked them up, and he came back and started yelling, and he was like, "Didn't you see my call?" And I had missed a call in the text, and I had noticed while they were coming in, and I just put the phone down. I didn't address it. We started arguing. Oh my gosh. He mentioned what I had said that the night before, in the middle of the arguing, and was just like, "Wow, when you said that, I saw you go back upstairs, and I just prostrated before the Lord." And I said to myself, "It's like, prostrated before the Lord? So you know the terms like that? Like what? So are you reading the Bible behind that? That's great. That's awesome." But I thought it was interesting that someone that doesn't go to church or anything else, I just thought that those were an interesting choice of words and an interesting response to something good that happened. So for you to prostrate and just instead of just accepting what was said, you actually demonstrated your thankfulness toward God by prostrating. So it shows some familiarity with how people in the Bible have showed gratefulness. So, but still, all the same, he said that when you said that, it just made me want to go get your nails done, and and I was just like, wait, huh? Stop, hold on. I was like, I got my nails done probably every week, every 2 weeks for years before I even knew you, but I don't know. And I know we don't have the finances now, because I was getting them styled every time I got them done. But as of this moment, if you were to get my nails done in response to something kind that I did toward you, I would not receive that you liked what I did. So I would not continue. I would not be encouraged to continue to do things that you liked. I wouldn't have received that you received it well. And so I would actually need a verbal response, some kind of a hug or something. We don't touch or even try to talk. And if we're talking, we're definitely we're arguing, or we're saying like, this brim bill needs to be paid. I mean, it's not something that we do with each other, and it's been like that for years. But I said that that was interesting and he was just like, "No, I would get you." And I had to reiterate, yes, I heard you. You're saying that to show your gratitude for something that I did, you would go and get my nails done. I'm repeating back what you said so that you can hear that I heard you. But I want you to know that if you liked something that I've done, that I've said, or that I didn't do, or whichever, you saying thank you, other than you just saying thank you verbally, I would need you to say thank you verbally, and maybe embrace me with a hug or something, some touch, and so something kind. And so it would have to be something of that similar nature. Otherwise, I would log it into my brain as though you didn't. That's not really something that you enjoy or you like. So we continued arguing again about how things were said, and how the other person didn't consider the other person while the other person was talking, and how disrespectful he and I both are, and how we could care less about each other, and whichever. And it went from like 3:30 to like 4:30, and then I actually was telling him that I have to go to community group every Monday at 4:30. Now it's 4:30, and so then I got a call about a new job, saying that, yeah, you can work in the morning if you don't mind coming at 8:30. So that must have been coming in at 8:30. So the argument actually happened on Monday, because I was supposed to go to community group meeting. And so once that call came in, I just left the argument, went to my phone, answered that call from that job, and I said, yes, I'll see you 8:30 in the morning. Thank you. I hung up the phone, and I just didn't return to wherever I was sitting, wherever I was standing with my husband arguing. Oh my God, some people are ready to argue you for the rest of their life, every day, all day, and without compassion, without like cease, without regard for any person or anything, like time passing or any other needs or necessities that require this moment. I'm just not ready to do that. And yet I'm being entangled in it. And thankfully for the call, I was just like, let me just sit here in this closet, because I went to answer that call in the closet, and my daughter sat in my lap as she looked at her tablet. And as I hung the phone up, I was just like, I'm leaving. I don't have what it takes to be just my daughter sitting in my lap. I was just like, it was too much. And I said, I gotta go. And so I left, and I started to, my husband was just like, what is it? I said, I'm sorry. I was just like, I am going to community group, and I'm not here to address you or whatever. And I just drove around, and thoughts of killing myself started to flood my mind. And I wondered again about rope, and I wondered again about just going to Home Depot. I think that would be a place that would sell some. And I wondered again about the length, because I want to do it from my balcony. I wondered again about my height and the length of the rope. And I wondered again if I could do it when no one was there. But it would have to be outside, because it would be just the easiest place, just to tie a rope to something and allow me to hang there. So it seemed pretty simple to assemble and to perform. And then a thought popped in my mind saying that, you know what, you do like going to community group, so just go. And now that my children are coming back, I'm gonna try and finish the story somewhere else. But I ended up just going to get something to drink, some kind of I think it's a Dunkin' Donuts drink or something like that, and some M&Ms. Took that, and then I did go to my community group meeting. And while I was there, the community group leader was just like, oh, do you think that you could tell us a couple of instances about you and your husband and how things are have gone, just to give your community group some background. And that just broke me. It was too much. But I'm going to end the video now, and I'm going to start from where I left off, because I don't want my kids to hear. Bye.